Today, let's have a play with L-sit to bent arm press to handstand. Now, it can be done in a strict variation away from the wall, but today we're going to focus on using the wall to help us. So you can sort of fill your gaps, whether it's strength or balance, and just use the wall as much as you need to. Remember, if you do use the wall a lot, so it's sort of leaning on it all the time, it is going to be harder and harder to get rid of it. So if you are using the wall, try and make sure it's light assists, not lots of assists. So before we start, we need to make sure that you have some sort of L-sit. It can be this position, it could be better like this if you have straighter legs with flexibility, or something in between. We also need to be comfortable to get into a handstand position like so, on the raised bars or on the boxes or whatever you're using. If you don't have those, then you need to build that strength, confidence there first. Make sure that you can not only get up, but you can also exit either out the way you came, which is always best, but also have in the back up some sort of sideways exit, because you're going to fall or run out of energy at the top and need to bail out in some safe way. So just make sure that you can do that. Now, there's a couple of ways we can increase or decrease the strength requirement. Now, the deeper we go in the bent arm position, the harder it is to get out of the bottom position. So that's one way. So if I keep my shoulders quite high like this from the L-sit, come through like so, don't go too deep and stay like that. That's not so hard. But if I do exactly the same thing, and now when I come round, I come down here, this is much harder to push out of there, as you can see. Then we just have the small increments between those two extremes. So straight away you can make it easier or harder just from that strength point of view in terms of the depth. The other way we can change the strength requirement is how much momentum, how much speed we use. So if I go quicker, I can flick myself up into position and there's less time under tension. But if I go slower and do exactly the same thing, you can tell by my voice that that's much harder. But you could argue that's more controlled. So if you're nervous in the position, if you're not so confident, the slower variation is going to be better, but it is going to demand more strength. Now, normal situation with the push-in, when I'm in the bent arm position, I want to push up. I need to make sure that the elbows are more or less directly on top of the hands. I don't want the elbows to go outwards and internally rotate the shoulders because I'm going to have no pushing strength there. I want to externally rotate and make sure I'm in a strong pushing position. Exactly the same as when I'm doing pike push-ups, dips, handstand push-up drills, pushing in general. If I was doing barbell or dumbbell pressing, I'd want to keep the chest open, bring those elbows underneath and push like so. I wouldn't want to be in this position. And what you might have noticed already, the demos I've been doing up till now, I've been using quite a bit of toe assist, but I've varied it a little bit. The ones I went quicker, I used a little bit less toe assist. But that's the big difference on how we can play with balance aspects of these drills. So if I go from this L-sit position here, step down light toes, go all the way through light toes, all the way up. It's a good exercise, but it's not demanding so much strength, but it's also not demanding too much balance. Ideally, we want to sort of ride the edge of our strength limit and our balance limit. Now, do bear in mind, if you're pushing the balance side of it, you're probably not going to feel so strong because you're going to use up strength, and even your body might hold back some muscle fibers because it's scared of the movement. So just do bear that in mind, that if you're pushing the balance side, you might feel like the exercise just got a lot harder from a strength point of view. But as your balance gets better and better and better, you'll find that you'll feel stronger with it as well. It'll also be that you're just hanging out in more efficient positions as you get more comfortable with it. But think as you go from that L-sit, ideally, it's only light toe assist all the way up. We can even get a little hold at the top. Now, a really cool way of training all of these movements is through the eccentric. So starting in the top position, coming down really slowly. So pick the progression that's closest to you from a concentric, the going up point of view, and then work really clean repetitions of the eccentric to show your body the correct pathway. Get good time under tension, and then try and do the concentric. You might need to cheat or use a little bit more speed to get up. But then you're getting the best of both, the eccentric and the concentric, and they'll slowly come together so you can do both movements. And then just keep pushing both of those until you can get deeper, but also a lot less touch on the wall. Like that was 1 foot touch, and then on the way down, I'm not going to use the wall at all the way through. Now you will need to play around with the distance the bars are away from the wall, how wide they are, and how turned out they are. As you can see, let's show you where I've got mine positioned now. So they're slightly turned out there. Let's actually show you one from this angle so you can see my elbows in position. Can you see there? Yes, I think you can. So see how wide they are compared to my shoulders, probably a little bit wider than my shoulders. And then watch what happens as I go up, and then as I come down with the arms and the elbows. And that's the setup that feels really comfortable for me. Now you do have another choice, that when you're getting close to this movement, you don't have to do it chest to wall anymore, you can do it back to wall. With the back to wall one, you are a little bit limited by the L-sit position, so how close I am. I can't go into a straight footed L-sit position, and I will need to be able to get up to around here to have the benefit of touching the wall in that position. So you basically need to do like 90% of the movement to get any benefit from the wall. But if you are doing it back to wall, you're probably at the level where you can do the full movement, so 100%, but you might just overdo it at the top, so it's nice to have that safety of the touch of the wall. But obviously the point where you can do that, if you've got good balance, I would just get rid of the wall completely and just ride that and go up and just see how you are at the top. And if you do go over, know that you can bail out. You should have that ability to do that freestanding comfortably before obviously you're doing lots of repetitions or working sets of that. So again, that is the biggie with any of these skills and any of these drills that you're doing. If these are working sets, if this is something you're doing as your main training, you need to make sure that you're filling all the gaps. You're doing full pathway, you're doing eccentric work, you're doing concentric work, and you're doing enough work on your balance. You need to be doing that at a certain level so you're getting good time under tension, you're not dropping through movements with big gaps, and you're not working at a level that's either too hard for you or too easy for you. Let me know if you have any questions of this one down in the comments. Thumbs up and subscribe would be appreciated. If you're after coaching, check out my website or my app. Links all down in the description. Speak to you in the next one.